I'll share some ebooks with you as well, so that ebook will also help you. Okay. So let's start now, guys, I think. So guys, when I'm just talking about this particular subject, when I come to MIS, that includes for Management Information System. Okay, I'll just start this particular subject at a very light note, what MIS is basically is all about. As we know that we are actually living in a digital world. Okay, and in this digital world, you work, you learn, you play, you drive, you have network, you have clouds, a lot of things which is going around you. You are basically completely influenced by the technology. Right now, you can see that when we purchase a mobile phone as well, like we always go for Apple or any other company, you always search for the storage options, or what about the cloud, you could say coverage, which you wanted to cover up. Okay. Now, when we discuss about like a particular individual and the number of hours if they are spending on mobile phone, over internet, or any other electronic devices, which includes your TV, iPods, DVD player, car, cell phone, you are somehow technologically surrounded. Okay, the most important thing is that you might not be able to work proficiently or efficiently with the technology. With the technology. Okay. So as we know that, like we talk about simple example of car, the transition which we have in the car, the transition which we have in the mobile phone or electronic devices, the transition we have when it's come to our internet facilities. Okay. All these important component when we are talking right now, the people is basically utilizing directly or indirectly the technology in their routine lives. Okay. So the most important thing is that everything which we are doing in the life, it's somehow based on database management. It's more about MIS, that is about the management information system. It means that whenever you want to access any particular information, you always required certain level of base in order to process your requirement, in order to, you could say, fulfill your needs. And in these regards, as we know that not about, you could say, a particular sector we are talking right now. There are, you could say, nowadays the e-commerce companies, they are basically transforming their business on an overnight basis with the help of internet, and they are getting famous and they are earning like anything in this particular world. The most important part is that the different generation of people has actually witnessed the different evolution and revolution as well. And it is because of the technologies. When we talk about automobiles, we talk about airplanes, we talk about radios, we talk about television or telephones, the generations are basically giving you some additional benefits, which actually making the life easy for the people of the country. Okay, now as you know that the technology is changing with a rapid pace. Okay, and it is basically changing your life faster like anything. As you know that there are basically influences when you talk about, like nowadays, definitely the research would be very different. The people are addicted to somehow certain, you could say, different type of technological aspects. Okay, there would be some who would be, you could say, more associated with the gaming. They are definitely associated with the gaming part. There are few people, those who are associated with their mobile phones or social media, we can say. There are few who are very addicted to the Facebooks, Instagrams, Snapchats, maybe you could say any other dating application as well, if frankly speaking to say. Okay, all these basically the aspect which I'm just talking right now, it is all about the digital technologies and its transition. These digital technologies basically touching the personal life of each and every individual, and it is somehow we can say dramatically it is altering the life of the people as well. Okay, when we discuss about the digital technologies companies, we talk about Cisco, we talk about Dell, we talk about HP, we talk about Apple. Recently, we talk about Amazon, Flipkart, and other brands available in the market. How drastically or intensively they are doing business just because of this technology. Okay. Now, there are certain questions which definitely arises now. I'm just creating the base of subject right now, guys. When I'm just talking about this particular business, irrespective of any domain it belongs to, we have to keep in mind that these technologies are basically streamlined, first of all, or lower the cost of a business process while not sacrificing the quality we deliver to our customer. The very first question which arises, because as we know that nowadays, if you're talking about the education system as well, it is somehow drastically transformed from a traditional mode, a classroom teaching, an offline mode, to complete online delivery. What's my question is that because of technology which I'm talking right now, these technologies somehow keeping the people streamlined, and it is basically lowering the cost of our business process. Definitely, it's very true. But are we sacrificing the quality we deliver to our customer? What about your opinion, guys? The very first question. Anyone, you can raise your hand. I'll unmute you, please. Yes, students. Anyone having any idea? My question is, as we know that we are using technology, and somehow this technology is actually streamlining the life of the people. Along with that, it is also lowering the cost of the business nowadays. Okay, as we know that somehow, don't you think so? It is sacrificing the quality we deliver to the customer, irrespective of any domain. If we talk about education, we talk about, you could say, delivery business of grocery, we talk about the customer participation in purchasing some apparel from the market. Okay, so somehow because of the technological upgradation, don't you think so the things are getting streamlined, but it is somehow we are sacrificing the quality which we can deliver to the customer? Any specific example we can talk about? Yes, students, anyone? Let me type this if you have any problem in this. That is, can this technology help in streamlines and lower the cost of our business while sacrificing quality we deliver? Definitely different people have their own opinion when it's come to this very first question. Yes, friends, any input about this first question? When I'm just talking about the technology is somehow streamlining the things, lowering down the cost, but it is somehow we are sacrificing the quality we deliver. Is it or not? Definitely different domain, different business having their own opinions. Okay. When we talk about definitely education, people have different opinions. Like we talk about in the school system, the way the schools are providing their education, or when we talk about the online education, definitely people have different opinions about the same. Some are feeling it more comfortable. When we talk about any grocery business, and if you are making an order from D-Mart, Big Bazaar, definitely you won't find much difference when it's come to quality of the product, because it is almost standardized in nature. Okay. So as I told you that when we are talking about this MIS, somehow the technology is giving you the boom. Okay, definitely, Devi, it is easing the process and lowering down the cost, though the quality get compromised, but technology itself help in improving the system. Definitely, definitely. E-commerce is one of the best examples, Devi, as per your suggestions. Definitely, e-commerce is one, and how because of the e-commerce only, the things are getting much more relaxed for the people nowadays when it's come to their shopping habits as well. Okay, that is because one of the major important, you could say, business paradigm shift when we talk about in the case of, you could say, MIS we're talking right now. The second actually aspect when we talk about this particular important concept, that when we talk about technology, definitely because of technology, we are reaching to the larger markets. We are reaching to more and more customer. We are understanding more and more customer requirements. Okay. And definitely we can deliver the product which is tailor-made, which is as per their expectation. And we are somehow basically designing the product as per their requirements as well. So this technology is basically more associated with the company may able to deliver the product which are tailor-made. Okay. Now there is a few more things when you talk about the technology. The technology is somehow basically enabling people in order to innovate the business. Okay, as you know that nowadays each and every business available on, you could say, online platform. Okay, somehow it is basically giving you more convenience. Like people like Mumbai, we talk about metro cities, even they have to order a medicine, they will call to the particular person, even they order from the application, and the medicine will deliver to you within an hour. We talk about pizza, it's a very common example. I think when we talk about the technology, somehow this technology is basically making the life easier for the people. So, and as we know that, can this technology enable us to reach larger market? Definitely, it's very, very true. They reach us the larger markets. Okay, understand customer requirement. Understand customer requirements. It's a very, very important part. Okay. We can also talk about tailor-made offering to the customer when we talk about the online business. Like we talk about the example, best example of lens card. Okay, you can see that how the lens card is basically more associated with this particular tailor-made business we are talking right now. Okay, so that is again the one of the important part. Okay, so as we know that the technology is somehow making the life of the people very, very easy, and it is only possible because of this particular technological advancement in the market. Okay, definitely one more important aspect about technology, can this technology definitely enable us to innovate our business operation and move into completely different market? Definitely, as we know that because of this particular technological aspect only, we can actually go a lot of research. We can take the customer feedback. Like for example, if you are, whenever you're going for movie, okay, whenever you're going for shopping, whenever you're attending, you could say, any seminar, you always get a feedback link on your mobile phone, on your system, on your mail ID. And on the base of that mail, definitely the company always taking the inputs from the public or inputs from the user. And according to that, they can make certain necessary changes which is being highly recommended by the customer. Okay, by keeping in consideration all those things, the company can actually make themselves much more better, much more sharpen, much more, you could say, we can say innovative when it's come to their requirement, when it's come to their aspects as well. Okay, so when we discuss about this particular MIS, somehow we are directly or indirectly basically associated with all those important aspects. So this is a very, very important point when we are talking right now, the concept about this particular MIS. And as we know that the major purpose of this particular subject MIS is just to understand the fast-paced environment, just to understand the dynamics of this information technology, how as an individual you can use the technology and increase your productivity, how as an organization can actually increase their profit, can increase their market share, can actually serve society well, can actually reduce their, you could say, time, operational time, we can say. They can decide upon their worthiness into the market. So the most important part when we're talking about this particular concept, that the organization must need to understand and we need to analyze about this particular fast-paced environment. Okay, so let me, I think, go to with this. Then we are talking about this particular goal of this MIS. Okay, the very first goal is just to nothing but just to understand fast-paced and ever-changing dynamics of IT, dynamics of IT. The major focus from the individual's perspective, definitely we are talking right now, that is about the use of technology to increase productivity. The very first part. When we talk about from the perspective of the organization, they are basically more concerned, more, you could say, particular when it's come to the utility of the particular company, how they can actually, you could say, increase their profit by online business, whatever it could be, market share, or we can say expansion of market share. Expansion of market share. When we discuss about expansion of market share, there is again one of the important aspect of that. Serving the society as per the requirement. Again, one of the important aspect. Okay. Then we talk about reduction of cycle time. Okay. Then we can talk about etc. I think that is fine. Okay. So now when I'm just talking about this particular understanding, and it is very, very important aspect which we need to keep in mind, that whenever we talk about any organization, the organization must need to understand the requirement of the company, and moreover about the requirement, they need to keep in mind about how a particular, from the individual perspective and from the organizational perspective, we can